Hello everyone, this is Kenn Renner, real estate expert in the North Austin area, and I'm here in my music studio and my recording studio up here in North Austin. We are in the live music capital of the world, and in fact next week is coming up is Austin City Limits Music Festival, which I'll be going to. Actually, we have some contest giveaways, so if you're getting this email, you're probably going to have a chance at winning the tickets. But first of all, I really wanted to talk with you about the economy, about the 2016-2017 forecast for the economy for the Austin, Texas region. I had a chance to spend lunch with Mark Sprague, who is the chief economist for Independence Title, and so he makes a living on being able to predict what's going to happen to the market. And so I had some very encouraging things to say about our economy here in Austin and really nationwide. Though our economy is the fourth best economy in the nation, we have the number 2 job growth in the nation, so about 30 to 32,000 jobs are being created here in Austin. And so job growth really creates the demand for housing. And right now we are really in a housing shortage. We have less than a 3-month supply of properties on the market. And anything less than a 6-month supply is really a seller's market. So 3-month supply, we've actually had 3 months supply or less for the last 3 years. So the pressure's been on, and the builders are trying to build as fast as they can, and prices are going up, and that's a good thing if you're a homeowner, and rents have been going up, and that's a good thing if you're an investor. If you're a renter, it's time to get out of the rental rat race and jump in and get yourself a home with a tax-deductible mortgage. But anyways, what the economist Mark Sprague had to say was that right now the average home is on the market for about 45 days, which is pretty quick timing, and said if your home's been on the market for more than 45 days, then you probably have it overpriced. He says it is still a seller's market, but it's not a stupid market. It's not an egomaniac market. And so, in the past and in some other areas of the nation, we've had the ego pricing that you run into. We're not seeing that right now, maybe in some micro markets in the area, but not overall. So he said you should be pricing your home at 95 to 100% of median value for the home in the area. He said the realtors are pretty darn accurate with their pricing. Like I said, if it's been on the market for more than 45 days, it's probably overpriced. Talked about the rest of the Texas region. Dallas-Fort Worth right now is on fire, but he says only about 2 to 3 years left in that market as far as the overheating. They have a tendency to be able to build quicker up there because the entitlement process is quicker. So as opposed to other areas, Austin's a little bit longer and San Antonio's a little bit longer. Said Houston actually is doing really well, even though we've had the layoffs in the oil industry. Said the factories in East Houston are running at full bore. So I guess, though we've seen a little bump and a little drop in the employment, that's really after an overheated employment market. And San Antonio, slow and steady. And so it's done very well as well. And Austin right now, with its 30 to 33,000 new jobs coming on the market, we're going to see steady growth. Appreciation in most of the price range is going to be around 3 to 5%, maybe 6%. In the price range under 250,000, which is where a lot of my first-time home buyers and a lot of my investors invest, he said that there's still a very severe shortage, and that we're looking at in the next 3 years a 25 to 35% appreciation rate. So that's pretty good. And one of the comments that he made that was really interesting, he felt that Texas property is the most undervalued hard asset in the world. He's comparing it to places like Dubai and London and Tokyo and New York, comparing it against other kinds of hard assets, diamonds, gold, oil. It's just amazing that our value here is super undervalued. In fact, he said that we are where California was in the 1950s. And that's pretty interesting. I do a lot of work with Californians. I'm from California, and so I do see our prices are still about 1/4 of what they are median price as they are in the Bay Area or the Orange County, LA area. So there's still a lot of room for growth, and that's also exciting and encouraging. He says we are not in a bubble, and that's always been a lot of comments when I'm out speaking in other parts of the nation. People are asking, is Texas or is the economy in a bubble? There are bubble markets, I believe, in other parts of the nation, but we're not one of them. He's one of the encouraging things we saw was Amazon. Amazon, one of the largest retailers in the world, bought 27 747s. What are they doing? So they're taking on the world. They might be taking on Federal Express. All I know is that Amazon built two prime facilities, not more than, well, in between the San Antonio-Austin corridor, one that's 855,000 square feet and another one that is 1.2 million square feet. Now, Amazon doesn't build 2 million square feet of retail or warehouse space to be able to deliver their goods if they don't see what's going to happen to the population and therefore the housing industry in the Austin San Antonio corridor. Pretty cool stuff. And let's see, one of the comments that he made, which was very encouraging to me as a investor, is that 40% of the population will never own a home. And so as an investor, that's great. It means I'm always going to have a pool of investors. In other words, it should be 62% home ownership and anywhere between 38 and 40% rentership. And of course, I make a great living on getting renters to become homeowners so that they can enjoy the benefits, the tax benefits, the appreciation, the shelter, but also make a really good living at helping people buy investment residential properties. So for that same reason, there's going to be a pool of renters forever. He said the inventory in the luxury market is actually a buyer's market. So any of you Californians or New Yorkers that were thinking about would like to buy beautiful lakefront property. Right now, properties over $1 million are staying on the market for over 14 months. So we are in the Austin, Texas area. We'll get you a lakefront property, resort type property for pennies on the dollar compared to what you would pay for it in other parts of the nation. And so the new homes are 25% higher in price than the resale homes, which is an interesting stat. Not in every area, especially in the first-time homebuyer area, they're a little bit closer. But in some of the newer medium price range, which would be $250,000, $350,000, those price ranges, you're actually going to be paying quite a bit more for a new construction home than you would for a resale home that's just a couple years old down the street. Let's see. This was a very interesting stat that he brought up, that the average home buyer lives in a home for now 9 years. I thought it was always, and I quoted this, 5 to 7 years, or 7 years seemed to be the average time that people spend in their homes. But believe it or not, it's now 9 years. That's nationwide. And it's 11 years here in Texas, which is a very interesting stat. So people are staying in their homes longer, which means, once again, puts more pressure on the market because there's less resales because people aren't moving as often. All right. So Austin is still an awesome buy, still one of the best buys, and especially in the technology sector. And so he said that there were 5 national major corporations looking for headquarters here in Austin. That's exciting too. 5 national, like Forbes 100 type companies. Consumer confidence is at 100, which is interesting because it was a frothy 135 not too long ago. So we're at 100, which is a nice consumer confidence level. But that has probably helped in seeing that we've gone from a frothy some sellers ego market to a more of a normal seller's market. And so because I think he was telling us in our conversation that consumer confidence in Texas is not as strong as it was. Well, it's normal as opposed to overly frothy. All right. And in 2013, 2014 is when we had super high consumer confidence. We have a very stable economy. And there's been, in the last 5 years, over 10,000 companies alone moved from California to Texas. Well, come on out here from California because we got the homes, we got the low prices, and we've got no state income tax. So bring your corporations, bring your families, we'll find you housing. Once again, it's a seller's market, not a stupid market. And it's a little bit of a slowdown seasonally that we're experiencing right now, but we are going to probably go ahead for the next 3 to 5 years, have a very strong market. In the markets that I've been working, I've seen the same thing. We're seeing still rapid appreciation and rapid appreciation of rents as well. And right now we have the lowest interest rates that we'll probably ever see. So once the election is over, then we'll probably see a bump in the rates. In fact, they're already saber rattling at the Fed saying they're going to go ahead and start jacking the rates up. and that's only to keep inflation in control. So this is Kenn Renner, your real estate expert in the North Austin area, America's leading authority in home buying. I appreciate you taking this couple minutes to learn more about the Austin real estate economy. If you have any questions, like to attend one of our upcoming events, one of our home buying crash courses, or would just like to chat with me, my number is 512-423-5626. That's my cell phone. You're welcome to call that or text me at that number, 512-423-5626. I hope you have an awesome day. Rock on.